Hello everybody and welcome back, and let us continue on coding our SSH login.py. So in the previous video we actually started with our main function. We actually specify the host, the username and the password. Now all we have to do is code this connect function right here, and we need to code this send command so we can actually retrieve the output of this command. So let us see how we can do that. First of all, let us start by coding the connect function, since it is more complicated and since we actually use it first. So let us go up here. We'll need to call it the same, so connect. It takes an input of user, host and password. And first of all, if you noticed, once we actually try to connect with the SSH to the Metasploit, it asks us, are you sure you want to continue connecting? That was the part where I told you this could present a problem to us, since that string could actually potentially ruin our program if we do not include it in our login SSH. So let us call that SSH_new key. We will need to name it the same as it is, so it was something like, are you sure you want to continue connecting? So if we receive this string, and we will receive this string, what we want to do is we want to actually expect this to come to us, and then once it comes to us we will just send yes. So we will send to the target yes, so it proceeds to actually giving us the input for the username and password. Let us continue. We can just use the const string which we will receive, so that will be SSH. This is something that we are using. So this is the same string that we used once we actually ran it in terminal. So as you remember SSH, then we had to type msfadmin, so we will just type here plus user, since the user variable is already specified to be the msfadmin. So the user variable, and then plus the @ so @ is a must, you need to have it, and then the IP address of the target, which is in our case host. So this is basically this command right here, which we ran, ssh msfadmin 192.168.1.5. If you run this in terminal, it will prompt you for username and password right after this string right here, which we specified. So right now, what we want to do is actually, we want to spawn this or run this string, so we can do that with the child command. So the child, what this will be is pexpect. This is where we use our library, and we expect to spawn this const string, which is this value right here, which is our command in order to connect to the SSH on our Metasploitable. Now, what we return, or receive, let us see what we can return from that. Return, we will just call it ret. We'll just type here child.expect. So this is something that we will actually expect from the target to send us back. We can use the pexpect.timeout. We can use the SSH new key, since the SSH new key is something that we expect right after we try to connect. As you remember, first thing that popped up was the are you sure you want to continue connecting? And we after that are prompted with the password, which can either be capital P or not capital P, so we will specify both of them. We do that with this, so first capital P, capital P, then this pipe right here, then the small letter p. Then we close the brackets right here, and we can continue with password. So you just press the two dots right here, and this will actually just specify whether or basically expect either the password with capital P or password without the capital P. So let us close this as a string and close the square brackets from this part right here, so don't get confused, since I almost got confused why was this in brackets and this wasn't, but this square bracket right here is referring to this square bracket right here, and we also need to close this normal bracket at the end, so let me just close that one as well, like this. And after that, we want to check whether the return value, since what we get from this command right here is either a 1 or a 0. If we retrieve a 0 and the return or the ret command or variable, pardon me, is 0, that means we weren't able to connect. If it is 1, that means we are able to connect and we are prompted this line right here. So if we are prompted this line right here, we want to send yes to the target. So it actually goes to the next step. So let us see how we can do that. If I just type right here, if ret equals to 0, we will print, oops, so minus error connecting. And we will return from this function. If ret is equal to 1, we will actually send to our SSH, which is our child, we will send the yes answer to this question. So child, we can do that with the command or function send line, and all we have to do is specify in brackets the string we want to send. In our case, that is yes. So once we send that, we want to actually expect this password to come up, so we will type it right here. Return is now equal to child.expect pexpect, oops, this is so hard to write, pexpect.timeout, and then here we will specify the same thing as here. So let me just copy it so I don't actually write it twice. Here it is. We expect the password field to get prompted to us, and we close these brackets right here. If right now the ret is equal to 0, we want to also close the program. So we will just print once again, error on connecting. Since if this ret right here is also equal to 0, that means something went wrong and we can't connect to the target, since almost always you will receive this after the question, are you sure you want to connect or to continue connecting. Error connecting, we close the string and we return. But in case that it isn't zeroed and that is number 1, so we want to send the password. Since we get prompted to enter the password, right now we want to child.sendLine password, which is this variable right here, and we want to basically expect some kind of a prompt from the SSH. Now that prompt can either be a $, an arrow, 3 arrows, a hashtag, it doesn't even matter, we will just expect any of that. What we will do, we will create a global variable with a list from all the things we can expect. So first of all, let me just type child.expect, and we want to actually expect a prompt. And what prompt is something that we didn't create yet, so here it is. Prompt will be a global list which will actually hold most of the things that we can actually expect, so something like this, a single arrow, $, make sure to leave space on all of them, so just like this. Now let's close this list, and we will expect to get prompted anything like this, which will basically mean that we successfully logged into the target, since we sent a password and we got our terminal back from that target. So right after that, what we want to do, if we expect that and we receive that, all we want to do is return the child, which is our SSH connection. Right after that, in our main function, we will actually send command to that child, which will actually gather the password from our root user. Now this send command we will code in the next lecture, as well as we will test our SSH login.py program. So hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and I hope I see you in the next one. Bye!